Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about what I think is the most annoying and scary top matchup of all time, and that is Heimerdinger. It's a champ you rarely see, but when it is picked, it's always some conqueror bullshit that has you under the turret for the first 20 minutes, or if you try to exist, you get 100 to 0'd in the first 3 seconds after level 6. But don't worry, this video is not about me complaining about the champ the whole time, but what I think has deeper meaning and insight. You see, I've played against this Heimerdinger 3 times now, and in the game right before the one we are going over today, I had played against him and the guy was being pretty toxic, so being matched with him again, I had to lock in and enter flow state, which I did. Unfortunately though, there's no guaranteed return for effort even if you give everything you have. But does that mean my effort was wasted? Well, I think if you only look at the result and never the process, you miss out on the part that shapes who you are. So, although I was not able to win after a grueling 40-minute game that had given me hope at one point, I was able to have significant takeaways and I thought I might share my thoughts with you all. Anyways, thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe. Love you all. The biggest problem when you play against something rarely picked is the lack of experience because you don't have the same muscle memory in place as something you go against quite frequently. This is annoying because that means you would have to rely more on your raw reaction speed and take uncertain risks to build that experience. Yone probably has it easier than a lot of the top lane champs, but that doesn't necessarily make it easy. For runes, I'm taking Second Wind, Unflinching, and a very rare D-Shield ever since Debo came out, mainly because of my lack of confidence. I'm taking Ignite to make solo kills easier, but you can take TP if that's what you're comfortable with. The main thing to watch out for is trading based on the position of his turrets, ultimate, how you utilize Q3, and his E stun. Level 1, all you have to do is hit the wave and collect CS when you can. 90% of the time, the wave will be pushing to you, so I try to keep it frozen under your turret, and your job is to just chill until level 3. Heimer has short range, so when your Q3 is up, you can use it as a chance to CS or push wave while Q3 is zoning him off. My level 3 immediate E made him miss E, so we go up to trade, but I forgot that his W can trigger his turret's passive as well. I should have sidestepped instead of Eing back, a common mistake that I make in this game. Due to that mistake, we had to just let him do whatever with the wave until we sustained back a bit with D-Shield. Notice the triangle that is being formed with his turrets. This is a very common setup with Heimer, but instead of staying in the center of the triangle, Heimer chose to move out of the triangle, allowing us to EQ into him. Seeing this, Heimer chooses to go to our body instead of running away, hoping to punish us when we E back, totally underestimating our damage. We chase Heimer in our E and finish him with Ignite auto, even getting his exhaust. If Heimer had stayed in the triangle earlier, we would probably destroy his turret while Q3 was up and use E to dodge his stun if he chose to do so. We shoved the wave and the coming wave before basing. Getting back to lane, I used E to go into him when he went to auto us. However, I was not able to react to his E in time, instantly losing half my HP to his turrets. Then, I flashed Q3 into him, and we just trade flashes because for some reason I thought he used flash earlier and I ended up just Q3ing over the wall to escape back to my turret. Seeing that clip, you could obviously tell that the main mistake was getting hit by his E, and if we watch it at 0.3 times speed, you'll notice that his E was still really damn fast. This is because we are in his face, so his E is almost instant. That raises the question of how we can trade if Yone needs to auto attack, but doing so gets you touched. Well, I think there are 3 ways to deal with this. First of all, Heimer only had 2 turrets in range. Knowing that he wants to maximize damage, him spawning the 3rd turret was a signal that he was about to use his E, so we can back off or sidestep seeing such. Secondly, building off the sidestep part, Heimer's E's sweet spot isn't crazy big, so make sure you never stand still and is always moving after an attack, which I showcase later on. Finally, you can also choose to just play safe and not greed for more damage after getting a chunk of his HP. Right after that, Heimer based, so we do the same after shoving, but I noticed I didn't have much gold, so I took a plate before basing. I don't like building Greaves before Bork, but because of the gold, the wave state, and the extra movement speed to help you sidestep, I don't think it's that bad of an investment against Heimer. Moving on, Heimer sets up a triangle again, but when I notice that he is nearing the edge, I Q3 into him and get a quick chunk of HP before Eing back like I talked about. Note that some Heimers will E where your Q3 lands, so always be careful of that by using Q3 at further ranges and sidestepping after using it. Knowing that Heimer was probably in the bush, I get ready to E, but luckily I move backwards right after using Q to bait him because Sweet Spot missed and I reacted a bit slowly. Heimer wanted to use his chance to punish me, but I just Q3 and dash away, getting his ultimate. Since Heimer doesn't have ult or his turret set up, I take my chances. Ignoring my terrible whiff, I do almost get him, but missing ult did cost me the kill. Playing some mind games, I convince Heimer that I based after shoving and surprised him with a Q3 to get another kill. Since Heimer only had one turret, I immediately went in, but he ults and flashes, scaring the shit out of me, so I just flashed too, but maybe I didn't since he didn't even hit Sweet Spot. Without his ult and turrets, we all in him when he got in range, securing our third kill. With Bork, it does get easier, but when Ivern came to gank, me whiffing ult again and not immediately moving after an attack ends up costing Ivern's life, showcasing how much the little rat hurts, but luckily we did kill him. At the very least, we were able to get first turret from it and trade Herald after Kha'Zix went for the Drake. It was very obvious Kha'Zix was around from the way Heimer was playing, and when Heimer began to shove, it turns out Kha'Zix was coming around for a dive. Heimer's ult almost gets Ivern, and as they came to dive, I decided to take my chances. Ivern lands a crucial root, and we first E, and then dash, followed by ult when Kha'Zix was out of range. But sadly, with 1 second on Q3, a Heimer E stuns me and I am one shot. I should have used flash right after Heimer was out of CC as he would die if he didn't use it. But it isn't that simple because my brain had stuttered. You see, my lack of experience fighting Heimer made me doubt myself. What if he held his E? My Q was coming up in 1 second. What if I just hold flash and react to it? In that second of my ult CC landing and Heimer throwing E, there was too little time and too many questions in my head. It is in the moment that you doubt yourself, your fate has already been sealed. Once again, I had hesitated. Though it would have likely been game-changing if I had succeeded in killing them both, at the very least, I was able to understand where my hesitation seems to stem from, and I would be able to confidently make the better play when dealing with a similar situation. Later on, a teamfight happens when everyone was hovering top. We were close in getting shutdowns, but the enemy collapsed on us and we just lacked a bit of damage. We put Herald on top lane and the enemy rotates to defend. We caught Kha'Zix mispositioned and I should have gotten the kill, but I miscalculated my damage by a tiny bit and my ignite couldn't finish him either. As I was split pushing bot, the enemy were sieging top hard and I was able to base in time for a game-changing shutdown. To be honest, I think Mortal Reminder would have been better here, but I guess I wanted the damage to carry. Heimerdinger was pushing top when we contested Drake, so this opened up an opportunity for us. With our numbers advantage, we were able to pick off their bot lane and the remaining enemy afterwards. We didn't quite have enough time for Baron, but I was able to farm for Death Dance. Seraphine lands a crucial ult, allowing us to kill Soraka. We E back to avoid the Kiana ult, and ult to intercept Kha'Zix. He lives off of 1 HP, and we are forced to back off. Being sandwiched, we look at Hui and find the timing of his fear to E up and kill him. then using W and Kiana E's to block lethal Q damage upon Eing back, saving the fight. When we were grouping mid, the enemy gave me the chance to Q3 into them, killing their most fed Kiana. Heimer TP's late and is forced to flash away. We then kill him with EQ as well since he used his stun. Dodging Hui's fear in the same manner, I try to kill Hui but my ignite was a bit late and Soraka heals Hui in time, so Mark didn't have enough damage to execute. Sol was up but Seraphine was dead, so we were in a 4v5. We still had to take our chances, and although I figured they were camping us, I hadn't expected Kha'Zix and rushed my ult while positioning myself far away from my team. Without my damage, they all die, causing us to lose both Sol and Baron. As all hope was lost, we caught Kiana in our jungle and we immediately chased to force a 4v5. Killing both Heimer and Soraka along the way. Finally, a Q3 flash kills Hui and opens up the enemy base. When we wanted to leave, Kiana and Kha'Zix ins giving us our best chance at ending the game. Sadly, Master Yi rather split bot and Maokai was dealing with waves that could be dealt with by Yi or simply ignored, or even if I had just bought Grievous, then the game would have been likely won. But there's no point in complaining about things like your teammate as they are out of your control. I can only blame myself for not having Grievous. Your biggest enemy when trying to 1v9 is not the enemy or your teammates, but rather time. You can have big leads and huge advantages, but once you're full build and the enemy catches up, no matter how much gold you have, it all becomes about as useless as it gets. A mistake of me tunnel visioning and not Eing back instantly in an attempt to break their spell shields cost me my GA. I still didn't Grievous as I probably thought my team did, but there was pretty much no coming back from this point on. Maokai was caught in the jungle, and if the enemy had gotten Elder, it would be the same thing as giving Nexus, so we decided to contest. There was really no angle here, and the enemy got Elder. Even though they had Elder, there was really no point in running away now, and I would rather die fighting than running away to delay the inevitable. Ultimately, they end the game. With that, I just want to say, don't be discouraged when you have games like this. There's always much to learn from them, and trust me when I say that this is a growth that you are bound to take on the path to greatness. Oh, and a quick note on Heimer. Get your jungle daddy to help spam gank, it works wonders, but don't wait till he is fed to do so, because if he is, then not even all 5 of you can deal with him. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye bye.